Good evening, everybody. Bonsoir tout le monde. Bonsoir, bonsoir, bonsoir. Wap koute Chosa qui rele chat with Kat dans WSRF 1580 AM et 99.5 FM. Nom c'est Kathleen Barreau, animateur PAO pour prochain 30 minutes. Ou kakout Chosa kek app TuneIn, Haiti Open, and app WSRF 1580 AM. You also can listen to the show on the traditional airwaves or on our website, WSRF.com, by clicking the live button. Encore, wap koute yon nouveau show qui rele chat with Kat, en fait, ti koze avec Kat. Moi, c'est agent assurance et agent real estate. Moi, content kem pral passer 30 minutes avec vous. Si vous voulez relem, ou mettre relem at 786 253 0211. Encore, that's 786 253 0211. Chose a commencé parce que moi t'ai tendé misé que client pas t'ai passé et moi t'ai décidé aider client ça qui t'a fait une mauvaise expérience. We have a very special guest today. We have a very special show today for you tonight. We're going to talk about a couple things. And again, we have a very special guest at the bottom of the half hour. Ukarelem encore at 786 253 0211 pour plus d'informations dans assurance la vie ou pour real estate. Si vous voulez acheter caille, si vous voulez assurance ou mettre relem. Before we get into the show, we'll take our first pause.
Nou menm pa haïtien, lè nou fin grandi ti moun nou yo, nou ba yo edukasyon, yo jwen bon job, yo vin fonde fami yo. Ki sa ki ka arrive nan vie jou yo? Ti moun nou yo a paye bil pa yo, petit yo pral l'école, esko deja prepare anteman ou? Pa kite ti moun nou yo nan problem, rele Kathleen Barreau nan 786 253 0211 pour le cas edo préparer zafè anteman ou. Pa kite petit ou yo ap chèche l'argent nan mes amis, rele Kathleen Barreau dans 786 253 0211 786 253 0211. Senior Life Insurance Company, c'est une assurance qui pas exempté aucune maladie. Ou ka pran pour ti moun qui fin fête jusqu'à 85 l'année. Ou pas besoin faire examen ka docteur pour ka joindre assurance si là pour faire enterrement.
Ok, wap koute chat with Kat. Merci pour brancher Chosa. Et monsieur sa joint support from Primary Care Medical Center. Thanks again to our sponsor for making the show possible. N'a parler sou yon bagay ki rele generational wealth. Generational wealth, c'est yon idée le ou moui et ou kite l'argent kay tout bien kote possédé vin pour famille ou. Like your timoun yo ou bien piti. Generational wealth, also called family wealth or multi-generational wealth or legacy wealth, is wealth that is passed down from one generation to another. Typically, when people talk about generational wealth, they're talking about financial wealth that can be passed down from one generation to the next. Wap di, men Kathleen, mwen pa gen l'argent kon sa pou bay ti moun mwen. Well, that's okay. And you're probably wondering, what if you don't have any money to leave your children and grandchildren? So I will show you how you can do so, even if your income doesn't allow you to do so. Map montre yon wout sa pou ka bay fami l'argent ki las yon bon temps. A way that you can is by buying life insurance or a life insurance policy, and you're wondering, how is that possible for your life insurance policy to make it to build your family's generational wealth? Well, here's how. So let's say that you end up buying an insurance policy where the benefit is $500,000. This is how you can actually take that money and leave a lasting legacy to your name. So the first thing that you can do in building generational wealth, première étape ou ka fè pour créer generational wealth or richesse pour famille nan futur. Moun yo lè moun te mouri, moun yo pense assurance sa pour la vie lè moun fin mouri, mais c'est pas vrai. Oftentimes when people think of life insurance, they think about death. perhaps they want to make sure that they leave enough money upon their demise or death to ensure that everything is properly settled, like your final expense, enterrement, your funeral costs, any loose ends, your mortgages that you need to pay, or your final medical bills. This is especially true for people that have families with children or other major responsibilities, such as a business. No one ever wants to be a burden, even after death. Beyond the scope of preparing for an eventual demise or death, life insurance is a great way to build wealth when you use it properly. Assurance la vie, c'est une belle bagaille. Assurance la vie, c'est une bonne façon pour utiliser pour créer richesse. Un pile monde qui gagne un pile richesse comprend importance pour prendre assurance la vie, et monde ça comprend how to utiliser assurance. Many wealthy people understand the importance of having life insurance, and they know how to use it to build wealth now and even into the future, even after they die. The following are some of the ways that you guys can use life insurance to increase your personal wealth even while you're alive, and even when your kids, even after you die, your kids are able to use the same steps to building generational wealth for them as well. So the first step, or première étape, is to invest in dividend stocks. So leo te moui and timoun yo or piti yo ka investi l'argent dans stocks. Leo fi moui gen possibilité pour l'argent qui rete dans assurance côté pour timoun yo ka investi dans stock. When you invest in a dividend-paying stock, you are acquiring a portion of a company that somebody else already built. So therefore, you don't have to start the company, start your own company. You already have a portion in that company, which is called a stock, which pays out a dividend. And thousands of people already work for that company, and they're going to give you a portion of their profits. And they typically give you a portion of that profits in what's called a monthly dividend. So again, when you invest in a company, leo investi dans compagnie, moun sa déjà créé compagnie, gen moun qui travaille sous compagnie sa, and li compagnie pour buy ou chaque mois un dividend. So you can actually use your life insurance to invest in stocks. Now, si vous voulez plus information pour utiliser assurance ou gain déjà, ou si vous voulez prendre assurance, ou carrelem at 786-253-0211. Again, that's 786-253-0211. Now, the second way that you can invest, use your insurance to invest, you can actually invest in real estate. Ou ka utiliser assurance pour investir dans caille, terre, or commercial buildings. So another thing that people do when they have insurance policies, like when they pass on, their kids are able to use the benefit to invest in real estate, in houses, in commercial building or land. So whether you use the money to buy real estate here in South Florida, or you want to go to Detroit, where it's the market is extremely hot right now, where you can find some really good deals there, or in Baltimore or in Oregon, that money can go. You can use that money to multiply it by purchasing real estate. So one of the good ways of investing your money is in buying a duplex. Yon bon exemple pour acheter kay, c'est yon duplex. Parce que ou gen 2 units nan kay sa, so 2 units égalité de cob or de income. So if you use your insurance money, you can actually take the money and actually invest in real estate. Si ou acheter terre where un gros compagnie qui wè terre ça and li vle acheter terre from you, you can actually make even more money in selling the land to a large company that has interest in building property on that land. So that's another way that you can actually use your insurance money when you're gone, or when you're gone, your kids can actually use that money and create generational wealth is through real estate. Now, si vous voulez relem pour assurance pour famille ou ka fait ça, ou ka relem at 786 253 0211. Again, that's 786 253 0211. Now, another way that you guys can actually create wealth with your insurance money is you can actually lend the money out at a 4 to 6% interest rate. So, si vous voulez gros l'argent ça, prêtez l'argent sous moun and chargez moun interest. So lending out money is one of the oldest ways to earn passive income. It's essentially like renting out your money for either people to use, and then the rent that you charge on the money is an interest rate. So si vous voulez prêter $20,000 and then vous can charge un lot cob on top of the money, right? So essentially, when you lend out money, you're just renting it out, and then you can charge 4 to 6% interest rate. And that's what a lot of people do, especially in real estate, when for what's called hard money lending. When people don't qualify for mortgages, they typically have to pay a much higher interest rate in order to buy real estate, because either their credit score was too low, or they had too much debt and the banks wouldn't lend them. So that's how hard money was created. And you can actually use your insurance money to become a hard money lender. So that's another way to create generational wealth for your kids. Now, si vous voulez plus information pour commencer to become a hard money lender, ou carrelem at 786 253 0211. Again, that's 786 253 0211. Now, if you are still alive and you still have your insurance policy, but you had this insurance policy for a long period of time and you never used it until you listened to the show today, I'm here to tell you that uka utilize the cash value na whole life policy pour invest in stock, real estate, or prêter l'argent na moon. Now, with life insurance policy, you can again cash out the value. You can cash out the cash value on your whole life policy, and you can again use it for n'importe bagay ou vle that's going to, multiply or grow the money. Avec Assurance La Vie, ou ka utiliser cash value pour investissement. Numerous people have used life insurance policy to create more income by investing in commercial property, in multi-family units like duplexes, triplexes, quadruplex, apartment buildings, and un pile moun qui utilise assurance ça comprend the importance of the cash value of their policy. So in purchasing properties, either as long-term investments or simply to fix it up and flip it, it's possible by using cash value of your life insurance policy. Now, encore, ou ka prêter moun l'argent et charger li interest. You can even venture into the world of private lending as a venture capitalist, but that's for another show. And you can use that cash value on your insurance policy to assist other people with obtaining funding for their personal or professional ventures. And that's, again, what venture capital is all about. Now, when you use the money wisely, your life insurance policy can be a great way to make investments and increase your wealth. So, si vous voulez plus information avec ça, ou carrelem at 786 253 0211, 786 253 0211. Now, l'île pour prendre deuxième pause, n'après tourner après pour plus information.
Nou menm para haïtien, le nou fin grandi ti moun nou yo, nou ba yo edukasyon, yo jwen bon job, yo vin fonde fami yo. Ki sa ki ka arrive nan vie jou yo? Ti moun nou yo a paye bil pa yo, petit yo pral l'école, esko deja prepare anterman ou? Pa kite ti moun nou yo nan problem, rele Kathleen Barrow nan 786 253 0211 pour le cas edo préparer zafè anterman ou. Pa kite petit ou yo ap chèche l'argent nan mes amis, rele Kathleen Barrow dans 786 253 0211 786 253 0211. Senior Life Insurance Company, c'est une assurance qui pas exempté aucune maladie. Ou ka pran pour ti moun qui fait fête jusqu'à 85 l'année. Ou pas besoin faire examen ka docteur pour ka joindre assurance si là pour faire enterrement.
Mesdames et messieurs, bonsoir. Nom c'est Véronique Boutis-Antoine, Véronique pour nous. Montre la canne aujourd'hui, moi de nous comment nous y est, moi j'espère tout va bien. Nom c'est Véronique, je travaille pour Primary Medical Care Center. Primary, c'est un urgent care. Nous avons une unité dans Miami, 115 Street, 7th Avenue Northwest, et nous avons un bois road pour nous tous. Et nous offrons la transportation, et nous accueillons nous pour famille nous. Et chaque fidèle là, nous avons un propre dentiste nous, la caille nous, parce que référal, c'est bagage qui est long, et nous faisons ça. Nous disons merci un peu tout le monde qui a écouté nous. Et on a toujours relé Véronique dans 305 742 33 57. 305 742 33 57. Et me dit nous merci en pile et m'attend nous relé Véronique. Même si nous allons dans la mairie, nous avons toujours allé demander pour Véronique. Et nous avons relé tout dans 305 742 33 57. Merci beaucoup.
Okay. Welcome back to the show. We have a very special guest, as I mentioned to you earlier. We have a very special guest by the name of John Clark. John Clark is an attorney. He's actually an estate planning attorney, I will say. But I'm going to allow John to introduce himself. So, Mr. John, please introduce yourself to our audience.
Hello, everyone. So I'm an estate planning attorney, and I practice law throughout South Florida. My office is in Fort Lauderdale. And basically, I help people to plan for their future by drafting wills and trusts. I also help people to plan for their business's future by drafting business succession agreements. I do elder law, and I also do some litigation.
Before you get into all the wonderful things that you do, what made you get into this particular field? Because I know when I first met you initially, you were actually a nurse, and you decided to switch gears and go into a different path. So what made you get into this in this industry and I guess leave nursing or the healthcare field?
Yeah, so I used to be a registered nurse, and during my nursing career, I worked in many hospitals in South Florida, and I cared for a lot of very sick people. And unfortunately, I also saw how many people were hurt by negligence of medical providers. And I felt like I wanted to do something about it to assist these people to get justice. So that's when I decided to go to law school. And so one of my focuses in law school was on medical malpractice. And, part of helping people to make good healthcare decisions is also estate planning, because it involves helping people to decide what kinds of medical interventions they want when they're chronically ill and which ones they don't. And so after I got out of law school, I started practicing law, first with a colleague, and now I'm on my own. And so I'm doing estate planning as well as medical malpractice and elder law.
Okay, so what does your law practice consist of, John?
Well, it's, like I said, estate planning, elder law, as well as litigation, and a lot of the litigation is related to these topics. Mm-hmm. Let me first give you a brief overview of what estate planning is.
Yeah, that was one of the things I wanted to ask you first before you get into the meat and potatoes.
Okay, well, estate planning is just the process for planning the distribution of your assets after you die. Mm-hmm. And this is a process a lot of people tend to avoid. People don't like to think about their death.
No, they don't.
In the news recently, we've heard about the estate of Prince and Aretha Franklin. Mm-hmm. Prince did not have a will, and so his estate is still involved in litigation over a year after he died. But anyway, the goals of estate planning basically are to pass on wealth to your chosen heirs, to minimize taxes, and in some cases to protect your assets from seizure by the government and by creditors. So estate planning encompasses wills and trusts, which are the documents in which someone devises his or her assets to their heirs. It also encompasses life insurance, annuities, and charitable giving. And it also involves tax planning. So it's never too early to start planning your estate since, as we know, life is uncertain.
Right. So what does an elder law practice consist of? Because I hear that a lot, and I've never known what that was. So what exactly is elder law?
Well, elder law is just a general term that means legal issues that relate to elderly people. But in my practice, what it mainly consists of is helping elderly people to become eligible for Medicaid long-term care.
Ah, okay. And so that falls under elder law. Why is it so important? Because I see that you're not the only attorney that I've seen that, and I just recently got a chance to get to meet you and actually talk to you.
Right.
Why is that so important nowadays? Because I see it a lot, elder law, elder law. Yeah, so why is that so important?
Well, so nursing home care is very expensive, right? I mean, the average bill is, I think, $10,000 a month now in Florida. And our current medical technology is good at keeping people alive with chronic diseases for a long time. So more and more people are needing nursing home care as they get older. And so either if you have substantial assets, you can pay for the care yourself. If you have long-term disability insurance, you could pay for the care. Most people do not. So as a result, the majority of people who end up needing this care, they end up applying for Medicaid because Medicaid will pay for long-term care for the elderly as the insurer of last resort. And what this means is once you're medically eligible to get the care, meaning a doctor says you do need to be in a nursing home, Medicaid says, okay, first you have to spend basically all your assets before we'll pick up the tab. So, and many people don't know this until they actually have to become eligible for Medicaid long-term care. Now, fortunately, there are some assets that are exempt. So, for example, if you own a house and it's your homestead, up to a certain amount, it's not going to be counted as an asset. But by and large, in order to qualify, you have to meet very strict requirements, and this is where an attorney like me comes in, because I'm very familiar with the laws, which transfers are exempt, which assets are exempt, and I can help somebody to become eligible for Medicaid, whether they need to do it tomorrow or whether they need to do it in 5 years.
Got you. And what type of litigation do you do, John?
Well, I do a variety of litigation. A lot of it is related to wills and trusts.
And before you say that, what does litigation mean for those who are not legally savvy with the jargon?
Yeah, sure. Litigation is just arguing in court, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so, typically I will draft a will or a trust for somebody in which they pass their assets on to their chosen heirs. And usually, once the individual dies, everything passes according to the plan. But sometimes there are going to be problems. Maybe a relative contests the will. Or maybe, so a trust is basically, just for those of you who may not know, it's an arrangement in which the creator of the trust transfers assets to a trusted party called the trustee, and then the trustee administers those assets to the chosen beneficiaries.
And what do you deem as assets? Because it's such a broad term. Like what exactly could assets fall under? I mean, what kind of things could fall under the title assets?
Everything that you own is an asset.
Okay.
So your house, your car, your personal items, your bank accounts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and then again, a trust is.
So so there are two ways you can pass on your assets, basically. The first one and the simplest one is a will. The will is basically just a document where you say, okay, I want to, give my house to Mr. Smith, and I want to give my car to Mr. Jones, and I want, Mrs. Green to be my personal representative. And then after you die, Miss Green files that document with the court, and the court oversees that distribution of your assets. And for people that just have, maybe a car and a house, this works perfectly fine. Now, a trust is a little more complicated, and it's useful if let's say you have a lot of assets, or you have an income stream that you want to leave to somebody, or you want to leave assets to not only your children, but you want the trust to continue another generation and leave some more to the grandchildren.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where you would appoint a trustee, transfer the assets to the trustee, and then after you die, that trustee would be in charge of distributing the assets or the income to your chosen heirs. Unfortunately, a trust is a private arrangement. The court's not overseeing it. So sometimes a trustee is tempted to steal money from the trust. So, for example, one of the cases that I'm involved in now concerns a trust that was established by a woman when she was alive. She put significant assets into the trust. My client is one of the beneficiaries. His sibling is the other beneficiary, and he's alleging that she's stealing money from the trust.
Okay. So, what is the easiest way for someone to leave their house to a loved one?
Well, Florida law provides for a special kind of deed called the Lady Bird deed.
Ah.
And so you can actually deed a property to yourself and then designate the beneficiary to take the remainder when you die.
Got you. And how is a last will enforced after you die?
There's a process called probate, and I spoke of it briefly before. So your designated personal representative will file the will with the court, and then the court will oversee the distribution of your assets to your chosen heirs.
Oh, okay. And is there a way to avoid probate and save money?
Yeah, that's a great question. You can title many of your assets to a beneficiary when you die. So, for example, with a house, you can do what's the Lady Bird deed that I just explained. For all bank accounts and all stocks and bonds, they provide a way for you to title them to a beneficiary. And so the advantage of this is you don't have to wait for a court to probate your assets, and that can take 6 or 9 months. Instead, when you die, those assets will be transferred immediately to your heirs, and you also save money because you don't have to pay a probate attorney.
Nice. And how can someone make sure that their elderly relatives' wishes for the end-of-life care are followed?
Well, everybody should execute a healthcare surrogate and advance directives. The healthcare surrogate basically appoints somebody to make healthcare decisions for you if you're unable to make those decisions. For example, if you're in a coma. And an advance directive basically tells your doctors and hospitals what things you do not want to happen if you can't give consent and you're chronically ill.
Okay. And what is the best way for the future? What is the best way to plan for the future for a parent that is living with developing dementia?
Well, you should definitely have that person execute a power of attorney to allow somebody they trust to manage their financial affairs, and they need to execute advance directive as well. And before you do that, you should sit down with them and have a frank talk with them about what kinds of care they want at the end of their life.
Oh. And my last question is, will the government provide nursing home care for an elderly person who doesn't have the assets to pay for it?
Well, this goes back to our discussion on Medicaid. You'll only get care if you qualify for Medicaid and you can show Medicaid that you don't have any significant non-exempt assets.
Wow.
So that's why it's really important to plan in advance if you think you may need long-term care.
Okay. John, it was a pleasure having you on the show. Before you go, can you let the audience know how they can reach you if they have any questions about or also want to employ your services for what it is that you offer?
Sure. So, again, my name is John Clark. My email address is John, John, at clarklawpa.com. That's spelled CLARKELAWPA.com. Best way to reach me is my cell phone, 305-467-5560. Again, my office is in Fort Lauderdale, but I do serve Miami-Dade, Broward, and South Palm Beach County as well.
And what's your phone number again, just in case they missed it the first time?
It's 305-467-5560.
Perfect. Thank you for joining us, John.
Thank you so much for having me on your show, Kathleen.
You're most welcome. In conclusion, to build generational wealth, ou ka utilize assurance pour investir dans stocks, pour acheter kay, terre or commercial buildings, and ou ka prêter l'argent pour moun et charger moun interest. Ou ka faire ça by calling me, or si vous voulez plus information pour faire ça pour ou même et pour famille ou ti moun yo et petit yo ou ka relem at 786-253-0211. That's 786-253-0211. That's 786-253-0211. If you would like to create generational wealth for your family, you can do so in using your insurance policy to create wealth by investing in stocks, dividend-paying stocks, in purchasing real estate, and also becoming a private lender of your own. By doing so, you're able to charge an interest rate on top of the money. If you would like to do so, you can call me at 786-253-0211. That's 786-253-0211. So, merci pour brancher na Chat with Kat, en fait causer avec Kat. Moi remercie tout le monde qui aide pour show ça, Primary Care Medical Center. Thank you to our sponsors and thank you to our many listeners for tonight's show. I will see you guys next Thursday at 6 o'clock. And it's a date. Goodbye.